The Joe Rogan Experience.
It's so unbelievably compelling, though, to consider the idea that somewhere out there, there's another civilization that may be even more advanced than us. And this thought of it is just so attractive. It's incredible.
There should be, if civilizations are common, or even slightly common, then there should be civilizations ahead of us.
Yes.
Because there's been so much time.
But wouldn't you want to see what that's like?
Yeah, I mean, we've been
so
around,
compelling.
You imagine the timescales. We've been around as a civilization. Let's give it, say, 40,000 years. I don't know how long our civilization has been around. Let's say that. The galaxy is pretty much as old as the universe. It's 13 billion years worth of time. So the idea that there are no civilizations arose, 100 million years ago, 200 million years ago, 1 billion years ago. And imagine what they'd be like if they'd survived. I mean, we've been around, we've had science for, let's say, since Newton or Copernicus, 500 years at most. And look what we've done. We've gone beyond the solar system with Voyager. We've walked on the moon. We're about to go to Mars, I would think. So we're about to begin colonizing our own solar system. So we've done that in 500 years. So imagine a million years in the future. So it's one of the arguments often used to say there aren't any civilizations out there in the galaxy. It's called the Fermi paradox. Because if you imagine a civilization that's a million years ahead of us, they should have written their presence across the sky by now. You should see them. I mean, you'll see us. If we survive a million years into the future, actually even a few thousand years into the future, we will be exploring the galaxy. We will have spacecraft that are going to other stars. We will be doing it. So our signature will become visible, I'm sure, if we last into the medium term.
Would we choose to not do that? Here's my thought on that is uncontacted tribes. Like, do you know about the gentleman who was the missionary who visited North Sentinel Island and was killed by the natives? North Sentinel Island, which is a really unusual place because they branched off from Africa 60,000 years ago, and they've been living on this one small island the size of Manhattan. And as well as we know, there's only about 39 of them left, somewhere around there. Yeah. And we're not supposed to contact them. Like, people are not supposed, we're supposed to leave them alone. And they're a rare tribe. When they find them in the Amazon, the uncontacted tribes, our initial instinct is back off, leave them alone. Do you think that perhaps the universe, like if there is a civilization that's a million times more advanced than us and been around here for, millions of years of life as opposed to 250,000, why would they let us know? Like, would they look at us dropping bombs on each other and polluting the ocean, sucking all the fish out and putting clouds into the skies of dirt and particles? And why would they, look at these crude monkeys. Look at that. They're so far beyond where they need to be before they could join the galactic civilization network or whatever.
It is true. It's an argument that there is an argument as well that technology is so advanced would be difficult for us to detect. I mean, we tend to think of, when you say written across the sky, I suppose it's true. I'm thinking of starships and things like Star Wars, right? Big energy things that you can see the signature of. But actually, it may be that the civilization just becomes a nano civilization, tiny little nanobot, because that's more efficient. It's a better way to do things. So it's possible, I suppose, that there are space probes all over the place that are so small and are so efficient and use so little energy that we just don't see them. I suppose that is possible.
There's a theory that is actually being tossed about that these people that have this they have this memory of childbirth, right? So all of a sudden you're being born, there's bright lights above you, there's a man or a woman who's the surgeon with a mask that covers their face, so all you see is their eyes. And everything looks bright and it's terrifying and clinical, and you're on this table and everything's cold. Most of these alien abduction experiences that people recount, they take place in some sort of a medical facility
setting.
And everything is bright and strange and cold, and they think that what this is they're saying that we had this idea that children don't have memories, that babies don't have memories.
Oh, I see
and so they're saying,
yeah.
well, why wouldn't they have memories? That's ridiculous. Of
Right,
course they have
yeah.
memories. They have brains. They grab your
Right.
finger, they look you in the eye. They would have a memory of every second that they were born. And it's probably one of the most profound and disturbing memories because before that, everything is incredibly
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah.
You're inside the mother's womb.
And then you're just like taken
and then
out.
you're pulled out,
yeah.
and then there's this bright light above you.
Yeah.
You never experience any light.
Yeah.
So and your visual perception, your field of view is all distorted, right? This is the
Oh,
first
that's
time you're using
interesting.
your eyes. That's why people have
So
the
it's like
same.
tapping into this memory,
Yes.
this early memory. That's interesting.
This
yeah.
is a theory. It makes sense to me because if you think about
Makes more sense than the abduction.
well, it does because people don't really go anywhere. See, the thing about the abduction thing
Yeah.
is they put like cameras in people's rooms, and they say they have these alien abduction
Okay.
experiences, but they don't go anywhere. So
Oh,
what
that's
they're doing is they're
interesting.
dreaming.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, which is
the
normal.
mind is amazing and
Sure.
and it's so powerful, and we know so little still.
Yeah. So
about its-
also like all these. I mean, it's kind of duh because they all happen while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Like 90
and you're
plus
right.
percent.
They tend to be medical.
Yeah. It's very
revolve
medical
around.
in nature, right? You're being examined. And then there's also, going back to childbirth, there's also a lot of people that have these experiences that they are being told that either they're taking their baby away from them or they're studying their baby
Okay.
or that they had a baby inside of them that they didn't know
Right.
about and that the aliens have put it there and they're taking it
That's
out.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it even goes back to the virgin birth, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's all very weird. But this memory that people have from childhood is most likely, probably a pretty intense,
Yeah, that's
powerful
interesting.
memory that's always there.
Yeah, and
Your
affecting
first memory.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
some people can tap into it, and some people can't.
Yeah,
clearly.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainline historical books about
It's mainstream.
SS castles
Mainstream.
where they go, the aliens want blood, so they'd kill like 20 kids and everything. So the aliens would like come in.
What?
They
Aliens are
take
eating blood?
They brings them in like sharks. And then they would
Blood
like give them
does?
technology. They go, this is how it works. You build the atomic weapons this way. You build and they would like show them bombers and like the aliens are like telepathic. I don't even believe this. This is what the Nazis believe. And the aliens would mind meld and give them the technology. They're bad aliens.
So
are you surprised the Nazis were influenced by demons?
No, if demons are real, I would definitely think they'd be on the side of the Nazis.
Yeah.
But Joe, what I'm telling you is
think aliens
there'll
are
be
demons?
no media is going to attack this. I'm giving
I
you.
want to know where I can read it. Where can I read those statements that they were in contact with the aliens?
Well, obviously your podcast
Look up
is giant. I gotta use
Nazi Vril Society, VRIL
If you let
Society.
me put
He
a
had a
report-
group of chicks,
I tell you
That's
what,
witches,
aliens? That's
that were,
aliens?
like right up there with them, like doing
And I don't have to come
rituals.
over 3 hours. If I can fly here with a report a day
Okay.
before, I'll send it all to you with mainline books. I'll mail the books with tabs in them.
Okay.
And I'll mail documents.
Okay, cool. Yeah, listen. I think that they absolutely were obsessed with the occult. That's been pretty well documented.
They made flying
yeah,
saucers.
and I think
Hey, did
got
you
me,
talk
Steven
about that?
Spielberg.
Did you talk about that alien craft that came into our
What happened? What are you talking
into our
about?
galaxy?
It did.
The one with the Hawaiian name.
Oh, so it's over.
You didn't hear about that one?
The one that looks like a joint.
Yeah, it looks or a big piece of poo.
Yeah, that's just a rock.
The big
right?
duty copter.
It's just a weird rock. I think.
No, they said that some like legit people said that it changed speed and went in different directions.
Oh,
and
legit people.
Legit people.
Oh.
Scientists
Oh, them guys.
said that it was. It could be something.
Could be.
What does Neil deGrasse say about it?
He's not talking right now.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of a kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. What's this, Jamie? This thing right here. Yeah. Harvard scientists say aliens
of
may
miles
explain
away.
bizarre interstellar object. Yeah, I saw that, and then I saw someone refuting that they
Harvard
would.
scientists. Harvard.
Nobody wants to believe more than me, bro.
Come on, Joe. It's real.
Well, if I was going to mask my spaceship to fly through the galaxy, I would definitely make it look like a big rock.
yeah, like a big
Yeah.
asteroid
Right. Why wouldn't you?
driving through space.
Maybe if they were like, look, if we just make this thing drive by them and don't change speeds, they'll have no idea. Just think we're an
Right.
asteroid, and they'll be psyched that we missed them. Like, yeah, good call.
And the
But
guy's
then
like,
someone
"Left turn!"
Someone just hits the gas. I'm tired. I don't want to. It's fucking taking too long.
What'd
Like,
you
he
do,
just
Dave?
decides,
What?
Dude, you got it. The fucking cops are behind us, Dave. Shit.
God damn it, Dave. You're not supposed to just take
I
off.
told you. 65, you fuck. let's start throwing this weed out the window.
Why would it be so hard to believe? A space rock traveling through space.
That would be the move, right? I mean, if they're so advanced that they can travel through galaxies, they can make the shit look like anything they want it to.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you doll it up? Sounds good, doesn't it? God, I want to believe. So hard.
Well, I hope you do, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff.
Well, I want to know what you've seen though. So you've seen this piece of metal. What else have you seen?
I've seen many documents on the studies of these things, and I've seen a lot of the science associated with what the technology is and what it does. Like, I could show you, if I fold up pieces of paper and stuff, what's going on with it. But basically, these craft, they travel in a straight line, but they're folding space-time.
Like in Event Horizon, where they explain it by folding a piece of paper and punching a pencil through it. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, it's kind of like
fucking
that.
movie.
But it's more like, here, I can draw it for you here. Not that this is it's kind of like when you have 2 points, we're used to traveling in a direction like that. Mm-hmm. And so when we look up, we see a plane that goes straight.
Right.
But these UFOs fold space-time like this. And so it looks like, to them, they're going in a straight line. So if you're in the ship, you see that. Mm-hmm. But if you're on the ground, you see that.
Oh, okay.
That's why you see them blink off and on. A lot of those videos, they're on, they go, it looks like they're jumping. It's just because of this.
So
they're
they
folding
have
space-time.
some way of interfacing with space itself that's very different than our idea of traveling in a linear way from point A to point B.
Space, the fabric, they call it the fabric of space-time because it's like a fabric. It's malleable.
Now, let me ask you this. How often into a conversation do people look at you and think you are fucking crazy when you start talking about this? And how long
all
does
the time, yeah.
All the time, right? But do you ever get to the point where you're like, I don't want to talk about this?
No, because it's I always tell people, you don't know what I know. And there's a lot.
No. I mean, like, do you ever get to the point where you're like, I can't do this anymore?
No.
Like, people think I'm fucking crazy.
No, because I'm involved on the most important shit I've ever been in my life.
So you think this is like the most important thing that you've ever done in your life?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I have meetings with senators coming up. Like,
do you?
Oh, fuck yeah.
What
I do.
senators?
I can't tell you.
Damn, it's all this I can't tell you stuff.
I know, because
So
this is some fucking tricky shit.
When is all this going to come out? Like, it seems like this is like eminent rather disclosure type shit.
Watch
right?
what my company does. That's what I'll say.
What
That's
a trip.
awesome.
Yeah. I love when someone is like that.
Yeah.
Like your friend that hasn't talked for 22 years. I love shit like that.
Yeah, you don't hear about that.
No.
Or someone that'll stop being in Van Halen to go fuck with swords. You know?
Or
It's like,
Tom.
yeah,
who
to go
leaves
fuck with
Blink
aliens.
and-
Yeah.
goes fucks with aliens.
Yeah.
Do you think they're really bringing him to the Pentagon and shit like that?
I don't know.
Because he said
I
they
have-
like.
I have no clue. And I had watched a little bit of your podcast where you were like, well,
You sent me a text message.
well,
You're like,
why are they
huh?
picking you? And I'm like, but I feel like he's made himself readily available
Yeah.
to do that shit, Like,
Right.
I don't know. I sit and scratch my head and go, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just fucking,
Yeah.
he's such a talented dude too, man. He's like such a good songwriter.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's certainly a very talented guy. It's just so interesting that that's his main point of focus.
Yeah.
I would think that if aliens were real, Trump would have told us. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
That guy he's such a fucking loose cannon. He became the president. Like, maybe they hid it from him.
Or as fucking chaotic as shit is right now, it
Yeah.
would I don't know, something would slip,
I would think that if they told him, if they brought him, there's two things I would want to know. Who killed JFK? Those are two things I'd want to know if I became the president. And are aliens real? What do you got, motherfucker?
Yeah.
What do you got? I go to the top generals. I bet, look, I'm going to defer to you guys. I'm not a military expert, okay? And I don't want war, but I want you guys to have support. I got full respect. Tell me about the aliens. What do you got? What's this? Trump orders establishment of Space Force.
he did that.
That's right, the Space Force.
Yeah.
But that's because
Where?
that's actually a military strategy because they're concerned that as technology improves, Russians are going to be in space and we're going to be in space. Or fight off the aliens.
Yeah.
Right, like Will Smith type shit. Yeah, look at him. Yeah, Mike Pence is behind him going, Jesus is going to save us. Yeah, I don't know, man, but if I became president, I never will, but if I did, those are the two things that I'd want to know. Who killed JFK and where are the fucking aliens? Like, I got home from the Comedy Store at like 2, and then I watched some goofy. I've been on this UFO documentary kick.
Watching UFO documentaries?
Yeah, I told you it was David. I started talking about it.
Yeah,
but
we were talking about that.
yeah.
What were you? Did you have something specific that you saw recently?
Yeah,
the
2 of
documentary.
them. One of them is Area 51, Bob Lazar and Area 51 and flying saucers. It's a documentary on this guy who claimed that he worked on these alien ships in Area 51 in the 1980s.
That gave me chills.
As time's gone on, more of the things that he said have proven to actually be true.
Like what?
Including an element that he talked about, element 115, I think it was called.
Like an organism from outer space?
No, an element, like a man-created element. You know, like there's carbon.
Right.
And, there's an element that they created that he talked about way before it was ever publicized. And he talked about this thing, and then it turned out to be true. He talked about these. There's these hand monitors that you would put your hand on this thing, and these metal lines would detect the distances in the bones of your fingers, the exact distances, and everyone is different. It's like a signature thing. And that they could find out if it was you or not you that was trying to go through. So the way they would scan people, the bioscan, would literally measure the bones in their fingers. And people said that was horseshit.
Wild.
He talked about this in the 1980s. People said it was horseshit, but then later on turned out, no, they did have that in Los Alamos. They did have that in Area 51, and that this technology was very, very
advanced.
Very, not just very advanced, but very not. It was not well known at all. Like, very few people did. And this guy who was creator of this documentary, it was very difficult for them to get photos of this hand scanner. But this hand scanner did exist and existed exactly as this guy described it.
In the 80s, I mean, that's super progressive for that time.
There's also
even
people
for now.
that did approve his top secret clearance to get to this place. They know that he actually worked there. There's people that worked in the same Los Alamos lab with him. They tried to say he never worked there, but his name's on the manifest. It's very strange. It's like they've tried to erase parts of this guy's past because he filmed a bunch of their crafts as they were flying around. Like, he knew what days. This is the thing. That thing right there, you put your hand on that, and it actually measures the distance of the size and length of your bones.
That looks like something that's inside of an escape room in L.A.
It does. It's hilarious. It's so true. But
Doesn't it?
I went into this documentary skeptical.
As you should.
Yeah, but I'm so done with all those things. But listen to this guy talk for a while. After a while, I was like, what if he's telling the truth? Like, what if he is actually telling the truth? Because if he's actually telling the truth, there is some part of the government that had access, at least in the 1980s, to alien technology.
You believe in UFOs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
See, I believe there's other life forms out there,
Yeah,
but
that's what
I
I believe.
don't think they're coming here.
They might. Here's the thing. They might. Well, why not think it?
But-
Just because here's one thing I do believe. Most people are full of shit
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, most of their stories. Like, it's hard to find a person that could just tell you what happened based on what they really remember. People want to jazz things up, and they want to add salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And they
Had
just
sex with me, did this, did that.
They don't necessarily tell you the truth. They tell you what they think is going to be an engaging story that kind of represents the truth, maybe. Especially when it's a weird thing, like you saw something in the sky. What did you really see? How long did you look at it for? How many seconds was it?
Well, I mean, here's the problem I have with UFOs. I believe there are UFOs, but I don't think they're coming here.
Why would you say that?
Because that means first of all, if they're coming here, that means their technology is way more advanced than ours.
Right.
So why would they care if people saw them? They would show up. If I was an alien and I was that far ahead of us, I would land that bitch right in the middle of Times Square and be like, what? We are here.
But why would you do that?
But why wouldn't I?
Well,
why
for
am
a
I
couple
hiding
reasons.
in fields where nobody can see us?
Are you aware of how we treat uncontacted tribes?
Yes, to
Yeah,
a point. But,
to a point.
But what I'm saying is, if you're that far advanced, they know. If they're coming here, they know. They're way smarter than us,
Right.
Because they've traveled here,
Right.
And we don't even know from far distances we can't even imagine. And they're here; they don't have to hide. It's
But
just
do you
like
think they do it because they have to hide? Or do you think maybe they do it because we can't handle it? Because we can't handle it.
Why would they care if we could handle it or not?
Because here's the problem. Whenever any civilization has ever encountered a civilization far superior to them, the results have always been catastrophic every single time. Every time Europeans have invaded North America, every time the Spanish visited the Mexicans, every time that this has happened, it's been a disaster. And this is human beings. If there was something that came down here from another planet and was so unbelievably sophisticated that it could travel through vast distances in space and had insurmountable, impossible technology, that we would look to it for all of our answers. It would become our new daddy. It would completely disrupt all of our governments. It would disrupt all of our religions. It would disrupt every single belief system we have. And people would fall apart. They wouldn't know what to do. Psychologically, it would be devastating. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist, but I know most people would not be able to handle it.
I understand that, but why would they care?
Because
that's my whole point.
Because
why would they care about
because
us?
They would be affecting our culture.
But they wouldn't care.
But why wouldn't they care?
But why would they care?
We care about animals, bro. There's a reason why we have wildlife protection agencies. We have that because we care about animals. And animals don't even know we're a thing. Okay, if you're a deer living in the forest and you're 2 years old, you might not have ever even seen a person. You don't even know what the fuck we are. But we're trying to keep those deer alive. We spend billions of dollars every year protecting them. We do that because we care about wildlife. If we cared about a rare monkey that we found in Indonesia for some strange monkey, we would do whatever we could to make sure that monkey's populations thrived. If there was a way to help them, I mean, that's one of the reasons why zoos exist. They take rare animals, they try to breed them in captivity.
But we're also sharing the same Earth.
Well, then maybe they look at the universe that way, and maybe they look at nuclear civilizations like our civilization. I mean, our civilization's a very dangerous one because we're a bunch of semi-hairless monkeys with nuclear weapons. I mean, we're fucking nuts, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And we're obsessed with sex. We jack off to our phones. We're taking pills to keep our dick hard. We're all on speed. I mean,
we all have ADD.
I mean, these are and we lie. We lie about shit. We lie about things that people did to us. We pretend people did worse things. We pretend that we didn't do things to people. We lie about stealing. We lie about money. We lie about all kinds of things. I mean, people are
so you're thinking
crazy.
You're thinking aliens are thinking about all that before they come down.
Of course they would. When you discuss the cosmos, maybe the single most intriguing possibility to us as human beings is what other intelligent life, if any, is out there. And how interesting is that to you? Because you spend so much time studying the fundamental particles of the universe itself. How interested are you in the possibility of other intelligent life forms? Or have you just like put that out into it's just so ridiculously unlikely or so far away from us that we're probably never going to make contact?
Well, you see, it's not so. There's this SETI program where they're looking at to see whether they can see signals from distant civilizations. The problem there, from my perspective, is that although they might be out there, they've got to have had a real head start on us before you would see them. Of course, they might have done so, but then I don't know. You see, actually, Vahir Gurzajan, who's my Armenian colleague, and who looked also for these ring-shaped things, and looked at them in a different way from the Polish people. But we seem to have seen something there. But we wrote a paper in which we speculated on beings from the previous eon communicating with us. And the advantage there is that you're looking at the really advanced civilizations,
really
right at the very end, you see.
Billions of years ago, that their universe disappeared and then had to come back to a Big Bang state again.
The signals could come through, yes.
And somehow or another, those signals remain.
It's conceivable. I agree it's pretty far-fetched, but, who knows what...
So eons, how many billions of years are you talking about? Like the Big Bang was 14 billion?
Yes. But you see, that's where at the beginning, in a sense, or it's 3/4 of the way through in another sense. It depends how you draw the pictures.
Right.
In the sense of interestingness, or in the conformal picture, we are already 3/4 of the way through.
So 14 billion to now, so we have how
you
many
can't
billion
count
left?
it as years, you see. The trouble is it's a cheat.
It's a cheat.
The year count it's as much as you like. It depends on something else. The mass has to fade out, and how you measure time becomes problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either infinity, you see, which isn't much use, or you might have a different definitions of time, which depend on what particle you're using as your clocks and things like that.
So are you essentially saying that it's entirely possible that we are the furthest in terms of our technological achievement and our understanding of the universe itself? It's possible that we're at the front of the line, that there might be some other intelligent life forms in the universe, but they might be behind us.
Well, there would have been... I mean, I'm not saying they got through, you see. Well,
Right.
maybe they have techniques for getting through, but that's a bit hard to imagine. But maybe information from them could get through, and maybe
You mean from the previous eon?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
they might have got through, like somehow or another survived.
Yes, but it would have to be in the form of photons or something. Yeah, no, you could. It's not. I'm talking about ridiculous speculation.
Sure,
now.
but
So,
encoding information
Yes.
into photons?
Yes.
Wow.
It's conceivable.
Sure.
Now, I don't want to say that I see it happening or anything, but it's not out of the question that they could develop some technology which would get information, which might be them in some sense, across in the form of photons.
But you're not optimistic about current intelligent life somewhere in the universe?
Not too optimistic, just because... well, maybe it took us a long time to get going because the dinosaurs were there for a while, and somebody might have got in there earlier in their different planet, and they could have got there quite ahead of us. It's conceivable. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm just not terribly optimistic about it. No, I think it's worth doing. It's worth looking.
Yes, but it's not something that you're really curious about.
I'm expecting. It's not so much. I'd be curious certainly, but I'm not expecting it, I guess.